Hey everyone, welcome back to another interesting episode of Pivot to Thrive podcast, where we share actionable insights on how to grow your business. So usually it'll be marketing, sales strategies, automation tips. I don't do a lot of interview style, but today we are at OMR Properties in Toowong boardroom, wanting to know more about the founder and director Linna Reakes, about her journey on how she started as a property expert, and today she's helping people build investment portfolio using her portfolio approach. I really value migrant stories, very, very close to my heart. So another migrant mom in business. And we are going to listen how a 5-year-old Linna dreamt about her dream and actually took action, and the challenges she faced. I think this is the first time she has shared a lot of stories that she's never shared on social media about her personal life, her career struggles in her nursing career, and how she transitioned, and every challenge she saw in her life, how she has turned it into an opportunity and actually built this empire she holds today, brick by brick, with every challenge as a single mom and having a 2.5-year-old and starting life again from scratch, leaving a very, very high paying, secure job just because it had a time ceiling to it, it had a freedom ceiling to it, it had a growth ceiling to it. So right now, as a migrant or as a business owner, if you're feeling suffocated with the limitation on how you can utilize your time, how you can leverage a freedom lifestyle or have an income cap, then this episode is a must listen. So without further ado, let's listen to Linna's journey today. Hey everyone, welcome to Pivot to Thrive podcast, a very special episode where I do an interview style episode in person. As I've mentioned multiple times, I don't do a lot of interview style podcast unless it's worth sharing with you. And my core belief is every migrant has a story. And there's another layer of speciality if it's a migrant mom, and an additional cherry on top is migrant mom in business. It's not easy being a migrant. It's not easy being a migrant mom. It's not easy running a business in a foreign country. So I've done it, and I know the struggle, and I know someone very closely for the past few months who have dealt it much longer than me and has achieved great feats than she would have imagined 10 years ago. So I'm super excited to know all about the story, why she's doing what she's doing, and I'm sure the story will inspire you to take some big decisions in life and live your life to the fullest. So please join me in welcoming Linna Reakes, the owner of OMR Properties in Brisbane, Australia. Welcome, Linna.
Hello, how are you, Priya?
Very well, Linna. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So for people who don't know Linna, just share a 1-minute elevator pitch about Linna.
Linna is so passionate about what I do, which is property investment. And I'm a very direct person. If it's not right, I'll tell to whoever around me directly, never holding it. And I'm an action person. If I see that, if I have a strategic plan, I always take action as soon as I can. And also, I work hard, and also I'm just full of the energy, I reckon.
Yes, I think I can sync with everything other than the energy aspect with you. I think we're pretty much the same. We don't bullshit, we just talk, we just do it. I think that's what I love about you. So I'm going to go into your journey about property investment later on. But as a kid, what was your dream in life? What was your ambition?
Wow. Okay, so I was born in China in 1980. At that time, China is developing country. And when I was little girl, I remember in 1985, that was my family first time have a TV. very old, small TV, which is, I remember my dad trying to, adjust to the picture, was so curious. And one day I saw the TV, there is a picture of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. That was my first time in my memory. There is other country except China. So as a 5 years old little girl, that's a little seed in my mind and in my heart. And I needed to go overseas. I thought it's only have that Eiffel Tower, Paris. So that was always a dream. I want to go out to see the world. And as we're growing up, which is I remember in my high school, even I did university degree in China as well. I always want to get out of China. Even I went to military institution in China, which is very hard for people usually go to the army force, to get out of China. But anyway, I'm here today. So I'm always chasing my dream. I want to get out of China to see what's the learning from other people culture. And now I settled in Australia, and also being Australian since 2004 as international student. So this is my 20 years. So today, that was my dream. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you wanted to spread your wings and fly high. So you were that person as a little 5-year-old girl that you achieved. So well done. Yeah. I know it's not easy, but 20 years in Australia, how did your life start as a student, I imagine? But from that stage, why Australia, and how was your life as a student in Australia?
Okay. So when I was in my uni in Beijing, I always trying to figure out which country I'm going. I did thinking about America, but that time was so hard. And then I did think about Japan, which is my ex-boyfriend asked me to go. But anyway, we tried. It didn't work it out. And then after that one, I'm thinking, somebody said New Zealand. I even thought about it. But finally, that time people saying to me, New Zealand is a small farm. Australia is a big farm. Why would you go to the bigger farm? I was thinking, really? Anyway, let's go for bigger one, right? So that's why I threw the agency, and then finally, right, come to here. So as 24 years old young lady, I still remember that picture. I carry 36 kilograms packed luggage, basically 2 luggages, I reckon, with my old computer. And I still remember I bring everything, right? Even rice cooker from China, because, Chinese people love rice, right? Yeah. Because I didn't know in Australia was so live here. And I think that time internet is not that advanced like today.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hold my dream, and I remember from Shanghai fly to Sydney. I thought I was very confident speaking English because I through a study. But when I get in the Sydney airport, I have to go to Lismore. Lismore is a very small little town just in the New South Wales. It's from the Byron Bay inland 45 minutes. I have no idea where it's at. Anyway, I arrived Sydney. I have to take another small plane to Lismore. And I talked to the host about use my broken English. That time I realized, oh my God, I'm so confident about my English, but nobody understand what I say. But anyway, I bought the ticket and come to Lismore. When I'm from Beijing to Lismore, I feel like, wow, it's a big contrast. Because Beijing, the city I was living, is a huge city, population-wise and also size-wise. When I come to Lismore, it's like a 45,000 people little town. And the airport it's one house. But anyway, I told myself, I said, I come here to learn the culture well, which is basically I throw myself in the culture. I stayed in I stayed in the homestay, the basically local family. They looking after the international student. So my life starting from that point. But I'm the person can adjust my lifestyle quite easily, which is I really enjoyed the time stay with the local family. I remember we have a salad, but in China we don't eat raw veggies, right? Where everything's stir fry cooked. But since then I know the salad, avocado, all this thing. But I take very nice way, and I really enjoy it. That's my journey, starting from the Southern Cross University in Lismore. Come here, I did a few months English class, and I supposed to come here to do the Master of the Human Resource Management. But when I had 3 months doing English, I quickly figured out, because if I do Master of the Human Resource Management, I only have 1 year course. And even I finished the Master of the Human Resource Management, I cannot, because that profession is not high demand to stay here, to get the visa, to get the permanent residence. So I did figure out, nursing is high demand. That time accounting, nursing is high demand. So I said, wow, good, I need to stay, right? Because mom and dad spend so much money to afford me to come here, which is, I said, I need to change my major, what I'm going to take. So I quickly decided to go to nursing. But when you go to nursing, they have a higher English requirement, because when you do the HR, you only need 6, which is ours, 6. But when you go to the nursing, because medical words, they have to be 6.5 in 2004. But I said, I'll do it because I want to stay in this country, right? I want to make my mom and dad's money worth it, which is I started really hard. I got it in. When I got in nursing, and I just realized, oh my God, I don't understand what the lecture talk about, because in the whole crowd, not many Asian background or not many international students. So I feel the challenge is like, I have to learn English and medical words. And also the way, because in China, the university, the way you're learning, and also here it's so different. And also it's because I studied in the military. So three things so different. And I always feel like, wow, that's struggling, right? I remember even I read the medical textbook. 1 page, I need to take 3 hours to get through it. Because every 10 words, I have to check a dictionary. What's that mean? But I didn't take this one as a hard thing. I take as challenges, which is I enhance it. Which is, in the first year, I did okay. I passed everything. But quickly, I found a strategy again. I leverage, team up with local student. I remember that time I was local student. She's younger than me. And she's really good. She's very caring. I still remember her name is Stacy. I really appreciate her. She's younger than me, so her English is perfect, right? She's local. She's very nice to me, friendly. But I said to her, let's team up, because I have good ideas. But my writing, my speaking, not good as you. And also I don't know about the university, what's the way to achieve higher grades. Which is we butted up. So the strategy really helped me the second year, and I achieved lots of A's.
Wow.
And also I got a scholarship, from the Wesley mission, from the nursing home. I remember $2,500. Wow. But for me, that's a huge money. I even came to the Brisbane to get that. Just one day I passed the information board, right? When I say the scholarship, even I don't know what's that. I don't know what's the inquirement. I just say, do you have because I starting to work, in a nursing home second year as well. That's a strategy, put me there as well. And then I just say the information, say, oh, are you a nursing student? Yes. Are you second year? Yes. Do you have a working experience in a nursing home? Yes. Just because there's 3, I said, I am okay to apply. I did it, which is applied, and I got it, which is surprisingly. So, which is $2,500 is really a big thing for me.
Correct.
Right? I use that money. Firstly, got my first car in my whole life.
Wow.
I still remember that car. It's cost me $2,300. It's a Ford, little green Festiva. That's the first car in my life. And also second, taught me from that applied application, the scholarship, is anything possible here. All right?
You've shared so many valuable points. I hope the listeners can understand the value in this conversation that, a little girl from China who thought she couldn't articulate her English or message in English very well eventually ended up getting a scholarship.
Yeah.
So, and also one thing was you quickly understood the market and found out human resources is not going to get you where you want, and you chose the field that'll give you a great career.
Yeah.
And then you identified the strength is in collaboration. And so you've done all the right things and you had a strategy in place. This is what most migrants lack, is the ability to adapt. That's what they say, be a Roman in Rome. But most migrants get so stuck to their way of living and what they've been taught in their life, they struggle to adapt. And I always say businesses or any individuals that don't adapt, they cannot even survive.
Yeah.
So well done. It's such a proud achievement. And your attention to detail with memory blows my mind. Like,
I still remember all the vivid pictures still in my mind every day, inspire myself or encourage myself to go further. So a few points I want to share with the new migration. Number 1 is be brave to thinking big. Anything possible. And second, you really need to have that strategic plan from the goals, setting up the goal, what you want, to go backwards to make a plan. And number 3, stick with your plan. Even you meet the difficulty, challenges, enhance it. Don't try to give up. Don't try to get away. That's the 3 points, I would like to sharing with the migration.
Yeah, you have lived it like me. Like, you've left a high-paying job and started a business, and people would think we are crazy to do that. And along the way, in the last 10 years, I'm sure you'd have faced so many challenges to get where you are today. So if I have to ask you about your darkest night, I recently heard this quote about your darkest night leads to the brightest dawn. So the property billionaire, Dr. Mahasinathambi, he shared it recently in one of the events. So I like to start off by knowing your darkest night.
Wow. I think I had a few nights in my life so far, right? I talk a little bit about in my nursing career. After graduation, I got my first job as registered nurse in Brisbane Wesley Hospital. As a new graduate and English is a second language, and because it's quite challenge, that's another learning curve for me as as migration in that very competitive professional world. And after you finish that one, basically when you get a nursing degree is you only get the key to go into that world, from the academic world to the practical world. And when you get there, because we're dealing people's life, we as surgical assistant to helping the surgeon to prepare the operation every day. It's very intense. It's very stressful. is timing. I remember after my 5th year, because when you go inside, you have to do rotation. After rotation, you need to specialize in specific area. I chose the most challenging one, which is neurosurgery. Neurosurgery, which is doing the operation for brain and spine. These 2 parts in a human being's body is so intensive. You cannot allow any error. Usually, from the result-wise, like we're dealing with lots of patients with the brain cancer, spinal problem, usually is not many people, they like to do this one because firstly, the procedure time usually be longer, could be from 3 hours to 24 hours. And from the result-wise, usually is not very positive outcome. So that's lots of people, they don't willing to do it. But at that point in time, after I, married and have my little girl, I thought about, as a lady, as a woman, I have some achievements in my life, right? I got the good job, married, bought first home, had a baby. But I always thinking about career-wise, in my nursing background, in the medical world, I need to specialize something specific for myself achievements and make me feel fulfilled. So I choose that one. But at that point in time, my ex-husband wasn't really, maybe he think it's not very important, at that our life. But for me, it's so important. So which is took me long. One night, I really sat in our laundry room, our lounge, right, to thinking about, do I do it or not? If I don't do it, yeah, it's okay. I still get paid. I still have more energy time for my family. That's okay too. But in the other way, is this gonna be make Linna happy? Linna, not really, because I'm the person don't like just rolling the ball, right? I really want to do something, make myself feel good about it, even with difficulty. So I was sitting there because my family, my ex-husband doesn't really support me to do that. He wanted me more time, energy for family, which is right too, but it doesn't make Linna happy. So I took longer time to really thinking about that night, and I made decision. Also opportunity, right? Because not everyone in our hospital can have the opportunity, because the leader from that specialty, they pick up the people as well. It's not everybody can be the team. So that's the opportunity-wise, they pick me. So I decided I want to take it. Since we take it, right, which is for me, lifestyle-wise, I have to do a lot of late shift because neurosurgeons have to start 6 p.m. Because when you open people's screw head, you cannot be time pressure, say we have to stitch up, close it. So that's why the surgery have to happen after usual hours. So for my lifestyle, I have to go to do more late shift, sometimes over to a.m. and Saturday night towards to Sunday a.m. But I decided, I took it. So which is that I have to accept it, consequence. But just because I did it, of course, affecting my family relationship. But what I get positively is I can handle. And I be one of the non-local people, be recognized as somebody in the working place. This is make me feel fulfilled. And also in Wesley that time, I think only have 5 qualified people in neuro team can deliver surgery. So this is make me myself proud myself to do that. So this is giving me more confident to do towards today. I starting my business. That's the confidence, discipline, time management, focus, deal with the challenge from that time.
Well done. Not a lot of Asian women put their needs and desires first. culturally we have been asked to put our needs last, and most people struggle internally. So well done for standing up for yourself. So, all right. So from the nursing career, how property? Tell me the Linna today, where she came from.
Okay, I did mention like I had a few very lonely, hopeless, dark, complicated nights, right? There is another nights, which is my marriage broken. Because I come here by myself and I thought I'm married with this man, it's going to be whole life. I never thought about it. We will divorce in Linna's life, never. But just because probably our belief, our future plan, and our parenting belief, way different. My ex-husband is Australian. And our marriage broke in 2014. I'm still remember in just before Easter. Say now, today is 2025, right?
11 years.
11 years ago. And that the darkest time in my life as well. Because, yeah, my marriage unfortunately broken. But I say another opportunity is firstly, I feel free. I can do whatever I feel like to do. At that moment, I feel like I'm a free bird. My ex-husband used to say I'm a noisy, colorful bird, but I was in the one cage. That's how did I feel, okay? And then that night, when we marriage broken, we chose the way go differently. And I was sitting there, very sad, crying. I remember I parked my car in front of the Forest Lake. I was crying, about marriage broken. We decided to go a different way. But on the other side, I feel like opportunity coming up is because I can do the way I want. Another way I feel like I'm a colorful, noisy bird out of the cage. It's my opportunity to plan my next 10 years. Because that time is I've been Australian 12 years. And also as women in my mind, I'm always thinking about, right, for women 35 to 45 is our most beautiful time because physically we still are very attractive. Secondly is we have life experience and we have real idea what we want to achieve for our life. So that night, I'm sitting in the car in front of the Forest Lake, the man-made lake. I decide I wanted to create better life than my last 10 years in Australia. So my another chapter of my life activated. So I was looking for investment, right? Because as a single mom, my challenge was I cannot control my time as a nurse because I have to do morning shift, late shift, sometimes weekends, public holidays. Everybody take a turn, be fair. And also as a single mom, my daughter, that time our daughter is only 2.5. I feel like every day I'm struggling with time, chasing time. I don't have time for myself. I don't have to thinking about the future. So I decided to, all right, is there anything else I can do to have more time to spend for myself, make myself become a better mom, better woman? And also later on when my daughter go to the school, right, at that time I didn't know I have a preschool care, after school care. I just know my nursing friend, they all, when the school holiday, they have to take off, right? I was thinking, oh my God, how can I be a mom when my kids go to school? So that's why I'm just thinking, I need to do something. I'd be able to organize my time. And another thing is when I say my nursing colleagues in the theater, because usually the staff, they're very stable. People specialize their whole career, 15, 20, even we have a nurse, they've been their whole career, like 40 plus years. So when I say that, I will say, wow, that's later on, 30 years later, I can say Linna, which is that picture is not what I'm willing to. So like financial, because when you become level 1 grade A in nursing, your income usually stopped, except you take an extra role or you have for example, become clinical nurse, nursing manager. and then you will get paid, not much, but a little bit more, which is feel like a little bit stuck. So from financial point of view, I'm stuck, right? So time stuck, money stuck, and also I've been the role for 10 years. I feel a little bit bored as well. So I would like to explore, have a freedom to see what's other possible possibilities in my life. So I starting to go to different seminar and then go to meet different people. And I always want to invest, but I never doing that. So, which is I'm talking about freedom, which is, I can do investment now by myself, but I don't have any knowledge that time. Because I used to my ex-husband to do search and bring the two property, let's say, hey, Linna, which one you want? So basically myself, never done it before, zero knowledge. So I starting from zero, but I go to different seminar to learn until I find my mentor. My mentor is Joseph Cho, and he is very experienced investor. I went to his seminar. I still remember in Griffith University in Nathan campus in 2015. When I get there, I don't know so basically how did I get there, right? Is one, because I'm looking for opportunities. I'm constantly go to different seminars, but I couldn't really figure out the plan. I did talk to my nursing friend, my doctor friend, or my neighbors, or my property manager. Everybody gave me different idea, make me confused. Until I went to the education day, which is Joseph Cho. He's like a hope. He like a bright, like light, come to my confused life. I still remember that day there was 350 people in the auditor room in the Nathan campus. How did I know this event? Is there is a huge paper one day come to my table. Are you happy with your career? Not really. Have you ever thinking about to own 4 property in your life? Never thought about it. Do I want it? Yes, but I don't know how, right? I have a little home, but I don't know how to own 4 property. And also, have you ever thinking about financial freedom? I don't know what's the real mean financial freedom, passive income. Anyway, these few questions get me there. When I go in there, 350 people there, I was thinking, oh, wow, who is this person? He must be somebody. So I get my attitude like very humble, learning. I remember I chose a seat like about very front in the middle because I want to be a good student to absorbing information, which is I did it. I sitting there about like few hours, right? I can remember the concept he delivered to me. I still can remember today. Number 1, residential property is a tool to bring you to the destination you can go. And you can leverage a lot of things in Australia. For example, you can get a loan. You can leverage the tenant's rental income and time. Wow, that's very powerful. And the number 2 is usual people, you only based on what you have to thinking about your possibility future. But he taught me, I get it, point is, don't let that to limit you. For example, at that moment, my income is 100K. I only can thinking about within 100K, what I can buy, what I can do, what's the lifestyle I can have. But after the training, I got the point. He taught us, what's your dream income? At that point, I'm thinking 150K, right? So he taught us you can use a reverse engineer way to calculate what you can do. Make a plan. Oh, okay. Never thought about it. Which is, I learned. I did. So which is I learned this sort of methodologies. And then from the single mom, a nursing income, 100K, with a little townhouse, I bought in 2009. It's worth about 310. And I had a 150K cash in my offset from the marriage separation. And I starting from that point after 10 years, today, I have multi-million portfolio. Every year I'm telling myself to buy. And also I have 2 companies today, which is mean I never thought about it. And I have a team as well. So in last 10 years, I never thought about today me, right? In that point of time, if I go back to say 10 years before the Linna. But I learned about methodology, portfolio approach, and also the environment, how you put yourself in. For example, like investment, right? Sometimes I describe these environments like you're in the ocean. There is up and downs, risk, cyclone. Many things is out of our control. But do you want to take the advantage, do it or not? There is no perfect time. But you need to put in that environment positively helping you, which is you need to find the boat. When you're on the boat, the people understand we have fears. But we can hands together, support each other to in the ocean, sailing well towards to your destination, right? Environment, investment environment. And also we're a bunch of the people, like-minded. We want to go cross this way to the other way. That's called faith, belief. And then when the people on the boat, like investors, and everybody have a different strengths, isn't it? Like the people, for example, strategist, you need it. You need a good broker. You need a good accountant. You need a good property manager. This is what I'm talking about, the people on the boat, crews, right? And then we can team up. It doesn't matter today we have a cyclone or thunder or shark, whatever. We can be able to be safe. We still keep going to cross to the other side of the bank, the river, ocean, whatever you're thinking of. So environment is very important. So that's why how did I, step by step, little bit by little bit. And also another thing about compound, right? Compound. You buy one thing, grows, and then you top up the loan to buy another one. Like snow effect. Snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
So Warren Buffett said, when you do investment, you need to find, definitely have a snow, which is like the capital growth, especially now we can see in the Southeast Queensland. And also you need to have a long way to roll your ball, which is mean property. Property is a long-term game. Definitely it's not short game. And when you push the ball from the small ball to big ball, right? If you keep pulling, keep going, eventually with the good snow amount, with the wet,
moisture,
the channel, the moistures, and your ball eventually is going to become a big. So that's how do I describe my journey in the last 10 years.
Amazing.
All right, to one step by step.
Yeah. I think I'm hearing this again and again, that you see every challenge as an opportunity.
Yes.
That is one phrase, all your 10 years, which most women don't do it. Most women, when they are forced into a challenge, they go into a self-destructive, self-sabotage mode. Why me? Why does this happen to me? And that puts them into a negative spiral of emotions and fear and depression and whatnot. And it's hard to overcome that. But I see that you've pushed through every challenge. It was not easy, but you just saw the end game and you just had your goals very clear, which is very unusual for women. Very unusual for women from Asian origin. The reason I keep mentioning migrant Asian is because it adds another layer of complexity. We don't belong to this culture. We come to a foreign land where we don't speak our own language, and we adapt and not just survive but thrive. So that's why migrant stories are very, very close to my heart, and especially if it's a woman. I think you are the first migrant woman I'm interviewing on my podcast, and it makes me emotional to think about all the struggles that you've gone through in spite of a broken marriage, having a young child in your care, and obviously you would have had bills to pay. You'd have had months where you didn't have cash flow. Today they look at Linna in Versace or Tesla car and everything, but it didn't start right there. It started with a $2,300 green small Ford car. So I usually face this challenge where there's lots of jealousy and judgment looking at where you are today, but people don't look at the amount of hard work you put in.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. You just mentioned about the bills, right? I remember in the 2014, because I was in a relationship, my ex-husband looking after all the bills. At that point in time, I don't know how much money to pay grocery, mortgage, insurance, everything. And I was in a very fierce situation as well, because I didn't know how much. What's the basic money I need to be survive? That time I remember I had a colleague, and she is nursing. She's my colleague nurse. And then she been through the same situation, divorcing, same like me. One night, she's living not far away from me. And one night, after I had my daughter go to sleep, I went to her place because I needed emotional, psychological support. Some people I can talk. I said to her, you know what? I don't know how much I need to pay all the bills because I never paid in my life. She taught me. She said, Linna, I give you this notebook. I give you a pen. This is what I did. You need to, when you receive a bill, write them down. When you write for 1 month to 3 months, because some bill is monthly, some bill is quarterly, right? And after 3 months, and you will know how much money you have to pay to survive. I said, oh my God, that's a good idea. Okay, I definitely do it. I did it. Which is, I did this exercise. I need to know how much money I need to survive. Because I was the person it wasn't good with the numbers. And also the relationship I didn't have opportunity to deal with. So that's why I said I had a zero knowledge. But it's okay. I'm fully understand because I came from there. So which is, I understand that you're mentioning about lots of women, especially like Asian, like I'm Chinese, right? And lots of women, because in our culture wise, usually, the man is take a dominant leadership side to do all this financial decision. But it's okay. When you be on your own, or even you're still in a relationship, I think it's a good skill to learn, to practice from the basic things. Everything is take learning curve. If you willing to learn, willing to become a better version of yourself, is not compared with other people. You mentioned another thing, jealousy, right? I understand. But now these days, I helping encourage, support a lot of women like me from different community, Indian background, Afghani, Iranian, Vietnamese, and Latin American, right? I helping them to understand how you be more financially alert, how you do budgeting, how do you saving money, how do you can prepare yourself to start to invest. I helping them as well because I understand, if you never done before, if you have fears, whatever the reason, it can, as a hurdle, hold you. And also in Australia, right, is a country with freedom. So I always say women can do even better, especially on financial way, because we have that natural detailing and the feminine energy. Let's talk about that, right? To nurture really well. So anything, if you're thinking you can, it always have the methodology, can work it out. So that's why when I see some challenging, I'm always say, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's learn about it. Let's figure it out. Let's learn from the expert.
And that's one thing I admire about you. You're very coachable. You don't have that ego that whatever you are today, if you don't know that particular subject, you're willing to learn. You're very open. And I don't see a lot of people having that openness to learn and say that I don't know, that's not my strength. So I'm going to listen to the expert. So I believe that's a huge aspect for your success, is you're willing to be open, coachable, and learn new things. And you're willing to adapt.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who see the ambitious Linna, but I know there's a very fun Linna as well. You love to have fun.
Yes.
So whenever we talk, you say, I want it to be fun.
Yes.
So what, other than property and investment, what does Linna do for fun?
Oh, I love talk about this topic. I'm still in my journey looking fun, but because I always believe, right, in my belief, you need to enjoy what you do. And as a human being, it doesn't matter what you do, you always have a stress. You need to have the way or ways to have fun, to keep you can play longer. So I always say I'm the person like work hard, play hard. So property is definitely my passion, and I love singing, dancing. I love wine, right? I like drinking. I like to social with like-minded people. Sometimes I figured out, I love people. Even I go out to have a coffee, wine, dancing, or activities with people. I don't think this is work. Just a part of the way I get fun. I love to sharing or helping, especially the empower, right? Empower women, because I love to help. And also now recently get into the charity as well, to helping kids, because myself is a mom. So that's my fun part, I reckon.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can always see that on your socials. You dance.
Traveling.
Traveling is another fun. Cool. So I know you've got a very multicultural team. So you've got people from so many different backgrounds, and I know you're a great mentor. So why did you choose multicultural as your core aspect of your business?
Okay, great. Number one, Australia is a migration country. All the people is come from different culture, become Australian citizen. That's number one. And also community-wise, culture-wise, people usually like to associate in that culture. So I think because before I only worked with the people from Chinese community, right? Because I found usually Chinese people like to buy property, or we have similar culture language, like accountant, like broker wise. So that's the feature of because language and culture. But for me, in the first few years, I only worked with Chinese. But later on, I thought about it. We have so many different culture here. And compare with other culture, for example, Latino, especially Indian, is a huge community there, right? And why wouldn't? Because the concept of the investment portfolio approach, everybody need it. It's not just Chinese need it, right? So that's why I had idea, what if I can get like-minded people from different culture and we can help go to the community to understand the language, to understand the belief, to understand the culture, to really get in the people the heart, to really helping them. It's better than myself as a Chinese. Can you imagine me go to Indian community? People, I can say probably 99% people wouldn't buy from me. It's because I don't understand your language, right? People always thinking, do I talk to you? So that's the idea from. So that's why in the last few years, and also I'm myself, I'm the person love different culture. You know, I love the culture, the different language, food, custom, colors. I love that. My personal. So I love to go to different, community function, that's event. So from my personal interest as well.
Okay.
So I connected with the people from different community. They will say, "Oh, Linna, in my community, I didn't hear anybody doing this thing. Can I learn from you?" I said, "Yeah, fine, come on." So starting from there, people from Vietnamese community, Indian, Iranian, Afghani, and Taiwan, different community come to me. African. Yes. Oh, African recently. Yeah. And the Latino. So that's why people come to me, and also myself interested, and also big environment suitable. That's why I decided to say, we are developing a multicultural team. I think this is quite unique in the market as well. So we'll be able to go to the community to really helping people.
Yeah. So I think in a lot of your marketing, you talk about strategies on different properties. So we're not going to go into the numbers because I know your core strength is the mindset with investment. So that's what I want to tap into today. So for someone who has moved here as a migrant and who's struggling with mindset, with investment, who is thinking like Linna 10 years ago with what salary they have, but not what they want, what will be your top 1 or 3 investment tips on mindset?
Okay. Number 1, really need to leverage professional people who have been done this one, have the result you want to achieve. That's number 1. I'll tell you why. Can you imagine migration come here? It doesn't matter have a lot of skilled or with a lot of money come to here. Firstly, they don't understand the suburbs, situation, market, right? And usually migration think, I'm going to buy my first home. But your first home, it depends where you're from. Lots of people say, I'm so hard to find the home I want. Struggling, right? Because they use the existing mindset from where they're from to utilize here. That was, be honestly, that's not right. Okay? And also, they have the perfection, they put the head as home buyer. They want to say, I want in this sort of good suburb, good school, this sort of house, that sort of floor plan, that sort of color, that sort of materials. Be honestly, where can you find it? Because you don't know much. And another thing about money. A lot of migration, they buy their home, all right? It depends, right? The people with the money, they buy very expensive one. But they didn't thinking about it. This first property in the future is going to become an investment property. When you rent it out, is that cash flow healthy or not? Second, do you know this property later on is going to be the top tier of the capital growth or not, right? You don't know. So right way is to buy something, leverage the government grants if you can, to buy something for now, to live in, not paying the rent, but with great potential in the future can be great investment property with good capital growth and rent. That's step 1. Step 2, after you live for 1, 2, 3, 5 years, whatever you want, at that time, you already have your capital growth is coming. right? It's growing. And also you get familiar, you're more settled, right? And then you can top up the growth from the first one to buy something really, really suitable for your family. That's the points I want to bring out for the first, the new migration here. Okay? So, and leverage expert like us, because we are been there, from there. We understand what's the hurdle, points, expectation, and process.
I think most people fail to understand that traditional real estate agents are seller's agent.
Oh, yeah.
They don't represent the buyer.
Oh, correct.
So how do you educate people to understand that you need a representative to represent you as a buyer, and you can't just go to real estate or domain.com and just buy the property? I know it's your favorite topic.
Yeah. I met so many new migrants. They understand, they have a good English skills, right? They come to ask friends, or they did research. Realestate.com domain is the only two platform in Australia, which is good, which is simple. And in the south, in the Queensland, people use realestate.com. So people go, they say, I'm very smart, I'm going to do research, right? So when they go to say each property, they maybe heard from friend from their own research, they know certain suburbs indicated by work location, kids school. They only know that few, right? And then they go to search, and then they thinking that agent presented that property is they got helper, right? But actually, I want to really clarify that. That agent for that property, they are seller's agent. They are represent for the seller's benefit, because seller pay the commission, right? Today, if you're the buyer, I'm so sorry to tell you about this. They don't really care about, are you ready? What's this property mean for you in the long term? For them, they just want to sell, represent for seller, to selling it in the seller's expectation. But in Australia, like what we do, there is buyer's agent. Buyer's agent, and we are specialized to helping investors. There is traditional buyer's agent, which is mean the buyers will pay the fee for the buyer's agent to, according to what the buyers need, budget, utilize the time, and also personal resource, negotiation skill, data to check your property, is that worth or not, right? That's the traditional buyer's agent. For us, why I say we're the buyer's agent for investors is because we need a checking according to your affordability and your equity, your cash. What's your financial goal, right? We need to design the strategic planning for you, because investment is long term, right? Everybody's situation is different. For example, some high income people, they probably tax. They have to utilize the investment property solving the tax. New property is a great tool for decrease the personal income tax. All right. There is, if the buyers, they are the employer, which is mean for tax wise, they have the other way to do it, which is they may more care about capital growth, right? So everybody have a different purpose, financial goal. That's what we, in the first session, we need to fully understand that. And then we'll be able to choose the right project from your timing, budgeting, how long you're going to hold, and where. How do you leverage your money to buy more? Because when you do investment, it's not about you buy perfect one. It's about portfolio. How do you use your limited money to buy more? You'll be able to holding long term. For example, currently I call for people to holding until after 2032, because Brisbane, we are the Olympic game hosting city in 2032. So from now to then, the 7 years is our golden market time. So it's not about you buy the one, perfect one. It's about how many you can buy. So strategic plan is the most important thing.
I think me personally, my mindset has changed so much after meeting you and working with you and understanding the portfolio approach. Like, I did not have that level of thinking that I can build a property portfolio. So before we wind up, so we've got audiences who are business owners, who are mums, who are migrants. What is one piece of advice that you'll give to them today to help them build a property portfolio? Just one simple piece of advice, something actionable that they can do today.
Okay. You need to know your financial goal. Why you do investment. That's very important. And then you need to know how much money, either cash-wise, equity-wise, you can, and also loan capacity, how much loan you can get from bank, which is mean how much you can play with, right? Which is what we call capacity. And then you need to get a professional strategist like us to roll out the plan. It can connect it with your financial goal in your belief. And then work it out. Take action ASAP. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, I would say the best time to buy was yesterday. If not
now.
Yeah, if not today.
Yeah.
All right. So where can people find you? What platforms can people find you?
Okay. So firstly, you can search for OMR Property. We have our website. So website, we do have our email number. You can reach out. And also you can follow OMR Property on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah. And also our office in Brisbane Tuan Tower, level 2, right? You always can drop in, but make sure you pre-book the time, please, because sometimes we are super busy. We're not here, right? So there is multiple ways you can reach out from us. Yeah.
Cool. I'll leave all the links in the description below. Thank you so much, Linna, for sharing your journey. I'm sure it was a very, very powerful conversation, starting with your 5-year-old dream to whoever you are today. So thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today.
Thank you. I'm always happy to sharing more because life, property market, strategy is always moving forward. Every day here have a difference. So welcome if you are interested about anything, and welcome to reach us. And I'm happy to in the future to do more podcasts continuous with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.